Here's us.
Here's us. So I turned 36 yesterday, and for my birthday present, you've all met Chris. He says he has a present for me, and it involves climbing gear. So there's a lot of nice little cliffs back here, right? Like where we can.
Some nice small starter cliffs. So.
Okay. So we're basically hiking up, and Chris is going to take me somewhere. This is Yamnuska, by the way. It's actually a really unique hike because you can see all of the foothills and the prairies going out in one direction just forever. And then from the other side, you can see all the mountains and like Rocky Mountains above tree line. So it's really cool. And I've always looked at people climbing that cliff, the big scary one. I'm like, yeah, I'll probably never do that. Chris here has some old trad climbing gear from his dad back in the day.
2000s.
From the 2000s. So we're going to go take one of the smaller cliffs and just, I don't know, practice climbing.
Yeah.
Should be about an hour from car to base, says Chris. Starting to get a nice view behind me here. But I can't say I'm not a little bit concerned about where we're going. Chris, be honest. We're not going up there, are we?
Not there. We're going up there.
So what I had in mind was somewhere down here. There's like some little bluffs where you can practice this kind of thing. And I've pretty much lost all hope for that.
Finding it off of 1970s guidebooks.
Excellent. Built different back then, right? Uphill both ways.
That's right. You kind of look and choose your own adventure. So we're looking for number 3. So it looks like we want to be down in a little valley of a scree slope.
Even down at the bottom here, looking up, as we're hiking across the scree, and you look up, I feel dizzy. It's like you really feel the heights. So I am committing to doing the first pitch. So quick question, Chris.
Yeah.
What is a pitch?
Well, we don't technically know.
But we're assuming a pitch is a length of rope, like about 60 meters?
I think a pitch is 60 meters. I don't think the pitch is 30 meters. I think it's 60 or, depending on rope, 70 or 80.
And according to the 70s guidebook, this is a 3 pitch.
Correct.
So that would be roughly 180 meters.
Yeah.
Which, what, triple that? Like 500 to 600 feet.
Yeah.
Certainly looks like it.
Yeah.
Well, this is 36. So not sure if this is going to show up here, but that red line is sort of the route we're going up to. And we can see there's a little ledge right there, which happens to be that little ledge right there. So it looks like we're going to climb this crack. You can go left there, and then we wind up going up here, over there, and then up there, and that is the point where we are at the top, 500 roughly feet above us right now. I guess the plan is you climb and place gear as you go, and then I come up after you and I collect all that gear, put it onto my harness, and then at that next pitch or whatever, we switch who leads. So I would then lead because I have all the gear on me.
Yeah.
The first pitch is supposed to be the harder climbing. I really like the comfort of having a top rope above me rather than climbing above and then having to fall like 10 feet. So I'm glad that you are climbing the hard pitch first, and then by the time I'm right up there in the, like, I will see if slowly getting up there and being there longer makes me more comfortable, or if I just like lose it. But hopefully
there's only one way like down though, and that's up.
and rappelling, let's not forget that. But so long as I'm feeling comfortable up there, you know, we trust our gear, we're playing it slow and safe, and then I will lead my first pitch a couple hundred feet up Yamnuska.
Yeah.
I have populated my harness with a few things to try to copy Chris, because I want to be more like Chris when I grow up. So let's get the quick explanation, Chris. What is on your belt on, I guess that would be your right side?
My right. Starting at front,
Yep.
Alpine draws.
Okay.
Probably way more than we need. Next behind, we have cams or friends. Old
Always-
school, 2000s.
Always good to have friends.
Rigid stems, yeah. And then, yeah, coming back to the other side, we got just some regular quick draws. Then we got a variety of nuts, small, medium, large. And then belay and anchor systems.
Perfect. Now that belay and anchor system I have on my harness right here. So this is like my personal anchor belay stuff. There you go. I've got 3 beaners here so that when I am cleaning gear, I can take all of the nuts and hook them onto that side, sort of to mirror what he's doing. And then right now I've got this, which is to help pull some of the nuts out if necessary. And that's where I'm going to put all of my Alpine quick draws and my friends on the back hook. I'm going to hook in, get on belay. We're going to check each other's harnesses for safety, all that usual stuff. And we're going to work our way up. What's the name of this route?
King's Chimney.
It's actually pretty doable. It's just my main concern is the heights and how, like, heart rate and just, you know, staying calm, doing something very new and scary to me, how that works out. I'm up about 25 meters times 3 for feet, and we have our redundant anchor set up. I am dangling off of it, as is Chris. So I've just gotten off of belay. I've definitely determined that, I don't know how heights show up on camera, but
They don't well.
probably not well. But anyways, it's definitely one of those situations where you gotta manage the moment. I am focusing on what's in front of me, and when I do look behind, I feel a little bit, a little bit unwell.
We're high, but
Yeah, but you're looking over the edge of the rock, and it's this whole thing with heights. So based on my current experience level and comfort, the section I just climbed, I definitely would not have wanted to lead climb that, because then if you fall, you've got all this slack. So there's a lot of, it's a little more pressure, and it's really sharp, gnarly rock. So the plan is to have Chris, see, I'm even gingerly holding my phone right now. Like, oh God, looking up.
Drop it, she gone.
This is, and more time in this situation will equal more comfort, hopefully.
Yeah.
But Chris is going to continue leading. So there's a few things on my belt that I'm going to pass on to him, so that I'm going to keep this anchor. So I'm nice and safe and anchored to that. And the second anchor that I currently have is going to go onto his belt. He's going to lead the next section again, at which point, once he's ready to go, I will follow him up. If there's a super easy looking section somewhere along this cliff, then I'll lead it. But for now, definitely I do not feel comfortable doing that. Or standing here, for that matter.
Standing here.
Yeah, standing is hard. As they say, Chris, it's very impolite to fall when you're leading.
That's right. You do not fall when you're leading.
So be polite. I'm going to
make
put the phone away. We'll double check all of our gear and belays and everything, and then you can take it from here. All right, so you're anchored in. I'm still on belay.
Yep.
I'm going to get anchored in. Or actually, yeah, I'll get anchored in. We'll switch over, and then I'll try to lead the next section, I guess.
If you want, yeah. It's up to you.
I'll give it a try. We'll discuss how I can back out of that lead if I get to a spot that I'm really uncomfortable with.
Yeah.
We're at another anchor station here. Got our personal anchors on, nice and safe. And I think we're about 120 meters up this cliff.
Yeah.
And we're thinking we're 2/3 of the way up. One more pitch to go. It may be that we're only halfway up, but sun doesn't set until very late. So we're gonna have a quick snack here. I've got my climbing shoes off just to rest my feet. It's not a super exposed area right now, so we're on a little bit of a ledge here, and then over the edge is like, whoa. And coming up behind me, you've got the remainder of the climb. Definitely still feels intimidating being here, but compared to that first time I took my feet off the ground, your brain does sort of adjust, and yet at the same time, yeah, looking over a vertical edge is just, it's not really my thing. Yeah, progress is going well. I probably can't see that, but chewed up my forearm a little bit. There was a section, I led a section, and it was one of those things where it wasn't super exposed like to the giant cliff, but there was about a 20-foot drop below me, and I'm going up this little chimney and trying to find protection, so just like shaking and like, oh, this is a little bit beyond the current abilities to do this comfortably, but it's all part of the learning process, I guess. And yeah, we're just playing it slow, playing it safe, and hopefully actually going to make it to the top of Yamnuska via the cliff. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm on my personal anchor. Chris is ready to belay me. So as soon as I yell that I'm ready to go, and we confirmed that this rope is my lifeline, then I'm going to disconnect the anchor, and we're going to head up. We can just barely see Chris up there. Zoom in. Right there. Chris is just checking the directions. We're both anchored into our double redundant anchor here. Big pile of rope, and the next step is actually going to be crossing sideways along here. Chris and myself are currently standing on the barbecue ledge. It's a very large, comfortable area. But what happened just before this, I'm going to point the camera and sort of give you a general idea of what's happening, and Chris is going to read the route's description. So I am tied in here, looking over the abyss, and then this section of wall, you'll notice, is, well, it's kind of steep, and we were well over there. So how does the website you're reading describe this?
This is what a fellow climber in 2007, I believe, which was a huge help. So if you're watching this,
what's his name? Do you?
I don't know. There was somebody in Mark. From his wording, it was towards the barbecue ledge. This involved a very exposed traverse across a narrow ledge. Pitons line the route, however, providing some semblance of security. The crux of the pitch was having to downstep onto a downsloping ledge with a horrendous drop below. My rock shoes gripped the rock well, but I knew immediately at this time it was going to be an issue for Mark. A slip would result in a huge pendulum fall and swing across the face. When he did get to the step down, he left a quick draw around on a close piton to avoid a pendulum fall, and then he completed the traverse. I was able to go back and retrieve the quick draw as my shoes felt pretty solid on the ledge.
So that was kind of what happened here. Chris did it, and I could just barely hear him. He's like, yeah, Kyle's not going to like this. I think we might have actually had our phones on speakerphone here. It'd be worth having radios for this. But
Yep.
I was like, yeah, no, Kyle's definitely not going to like this. And I got there, and it was one of those moments where it was like, I knew that rappelling down at this time of day would just be like a really huge hassle.
Huge.
And we're like,
way more hours than just to go up.
Yeah, and we're like right there. But that was rough. That was like, just, there's some harder pieces of climbing in this, but you're like nice and in a chimney and you feel a little protected. So it's more like, you're only 20 feet off what looks like the ground. And then there's this down climb, and you are like on the edge all the way to the bottom. It is just like the whole fear of heights when you're staring out the top and you get that weird feeling in your like chest, and you're like, you feel like you're falling, and every little piece of lizard brain in your head is just telling you, get the heck away from here. That was going on, and it was just like, manage the moment. Just the next step, just focus on what you're doing. Okay, no, my foot feels like it's on something. You look down to try to spot where your foot's going to go, and you just see the abyss, and you're like, my hands haven't been sweating this whole time, but now I kind of wish I had some chalk.
Yep.
From here, it probably doesn't look like too much, but that was the crux.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to hike off the backside because it is, what is it, June 30th today?
Yeah.
So day after my 36th birthday. The sun should actually be setting sort of northwest, like it almost circles you. So we might actually get to see the sun over the mountains if we scurry on over there in the next 20 minutes.
Yeah. So let's do it.
Let's go check it out. That was sketch. Cam in something and we'll there we go. There's a beautiful shot of the sun setting over the mountain there. And as for this video, this will be the end of it. Thanks to everyone who watched. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, how'd you like your climb, Chris?
It was good. It was exciting. It was like the perfect balance of like easy, hard sections, hard bits.
Now, was this your first ever multi-pitch lead climb?
It was.
Ditto. I'm glad I led one pitch in the middle.
Yeah,
it was definitely sketchy for me at one spot, but
that was a sweet pitch to lead.
Yeah, it was the easiest one I definitely picked. The one spot was tricky, but I definitely got away with.
It was a nice intro.
I would not have wanted to lead the last section with that crazy downtown climb. That was rough. Anyways, so yeah, we made it. It was kind of a cool experience. It was the right balance, I think, of kind of just like pushing boundaries a little bit without absolutely like the down climb was a little bit much for me at the time, but it was obviously enough where I could just sort of focus on that moment and get through it. Super stoked that I can drive past Yamnuska now and say, I climbed that, the actual cliff, holy. Yeah, good day. Good way to start age 36 on this beautiful planet. To anyone watching right now, you are absolutely amazing. You are on a rock hurtling through space right now. Nobody is cooler than you. So keep up the good work. And as far as this video is concerned, that's it for now. Have a wonderful evening, everybody, and see you in the next one. So that nice pointy piece of rock right there. We got off the wall just to the left of that. Unreal.